Hi, everybody. Welcome back. All right. So, first off, I am just doing a shout out to my mommy because it's her birthday today, February the 19th. And she loves browns and blues together. And this is actually her jacket that actually I think I bought this one for her, but she accidentally left it at my house. So I'm wearing it today in honor of my mom. And I like the idea that she always has this real sense of style that's so unique to her. The things that she puts together, I always love. But this is like definitely one of her style of outfits where you blend the, two really contrasting colors. And so my mom's very artistic and very wonderful. And I have a great mom. I have somebody who's very supportive, very artistic, has always wanted us, all of her children, to like, even if she doesn't agree with us, she's still proud of you for doing what is your style, really finding your own sense of independence. So sorry, quick tribute to the mama, but that's how I'm going to start this video, this reading, because I think that finding one's independence, finding one's way to express yourself might be the way to start this reading. So I don't know if someone is finding their independence right now, if someone is discovering like what suits them. Maybe they're becoming more like colorful. Maybe you're feeling more colorful. Well, we just got the Fool card, so definitely going your own way. That's a great first card to have. We also have the Devil. Okay. We have the Five of Swords. Someone's not happy that somebody's going their own way. Two of Wands in the reverse, Page of Cups in the reverse, Queen of Swords in the upright. So here's the way I see it. Someone is absolutely breaking away, going their own direction. Whatever it is that they want, it's their ideas are fiercely their own, is what I will say. And that makes somebody else very jealous. Someone else is perhaps feeling more and more like urgency to almost control someone and prevent them from walking their own path here. This is somebody who's like defensive about it, and yet they know that the more defensive they get, the more certain the individual is who's, operating with the Fool's card, the card of like taking that leap of faith, the more certain they are that I am done with this situation. I am walking my own path. I am not interested in this anymore. We're not having a new beginning. So what I see here is like a Queen of Swords is cutting herself free. I feel as if this could be, it doesn't have to be a Capricorn that somebody dealt with, but this Queen of Swords in exerting their own free will, in showing up as they are, really stepping forward. So Libra, Gemini, Aquarius could be your zodiac, or could just happen to be the like the overall energies that you carry within yourself. I don't get hung up on zodiacs. We're all so much more than just that. But the traits that go along with this Queen of Swords is somebody who is independent minded, powerful, has the understanding of like, this is my life. I'll make my choices. I'll weigh and measure things, but ultimately I'm the decider. This is somebody who's good with communication, who's logical, who can separate just raw emotions and then focus on, okay, this is truthful, this is powerful, this is accurate. So I feel like some of you might be showing up with that kind of energy here. But whomever it is who's trying to prevent you from like really being your independent self and going in this new direction, the more they try to like suppress that, the more certain you are, or this person is, that they're ready to leave this situation behind. We have a Six of Swords and we have a King of Swords. In this case, the Six of Swords it's in the more difficult energy here. It's somebody is really struggling to let go of this. But with the King of Swords in the upright, I gotta say, I feel as if we have a new partnership on the horizon with someone that matches really well. And I think that's why whoever is jealous, whoever wants this person who's gaining their independence to not be allowed to have their independence, part of it may be that it's like, don't leave me until I'm done with this situation. I certainly don't want to hear that you're going toward someone who's a perfect match for you. That's what this is looking like to me, because we have a beautifully matched pair, both in the upright. We have a new partnership on the horizon, and the person who is essentially wanting to prevent someone from going to that new partnership is the one that every time they get more grabby or defensive, all it does is actually reinforces why someone is really ready to take that step of independence and go towards some other new interaction, is what this looks like to me. My nose is itching like crazy. Sorry. Sometimes my hair, I'll have like one hair that goes right across my nostril and drives me bananas. I know. Why don't I just pull it all the way back? Because it's hard to keep it all the way back. We got a Queen of Wands, and this Queen of Wands is in the negative, and we have a Page of Pentacles also in the negative. Okay. I know we get this story a lot. I can't help what cards come out. So the person who seems to be clinging, the person who seems to be saying, don't you walk out of that door when I'm not done. And I certainly don't want to hear that you're going towards someone who is going to be a better match. This is the karmic energy, because this Queen of Wands is in the reverse. This is someone who is an amazing person in their own right. You know, they're attractive, they're smart, they're intelligent, they have all these components, but somehow they kind of got into a cycle in themselves, maybe where they, instead of being, you know, them being an independent individual, and it's like, oh, hey, if something's not working out, let's shake hands and, you know, go our separate ways. Instead, they're operating out of a, you know, you don't have a right to say goodbye to me. I say goodbye to you. You know, it's almost like somebody who's in a cycle of, it's more like the insult of, how dare you cut me off? And so that's making like, this is why they're grabbing a hold. This is why we have this energy of that devil, because I think it's more like their ego got hurt, which, I mean, I don't like to talk about the karmics like, oh, they're a terrible, you know, the terrible karmic, they're doing all these negative things, because anyone who feels scorned can certainly, you know, behave that way. So I want to always be more compassionate, especially when we talk about, you know, why is somebody holding on to this? I mean, certainly it can just be to be rude, but in this case, it's very confusing. I feel like there's been maybe lots of, you notice how the pentacle is here, but somebody is squishing the book closed, so you can't even get the pentacle out. Right now, this Queen of Wands character who's in the reverse, that we're just going to refer to as the karmic, they are unsure of why is it happening this way, without realizing that them, again, holding on so tightly is actually part of maybe the problem. Why are they holding on so tight and unable to let go, though? Why are they? Because I wanted, since the karmic is kind of a prominent figure here, I feel like we should talk about the karmic more. You know, heck, maybe you're identifying as the karmic, where it's like, you know, someone is not showing up for me. Oh, well, we have the Star in the upright. We have the Five of Swords in like the most painful energy. And we have the Ace of Swords. So I kind of feel like the karmic maybe got their mind messed with a little bit. Like maybe the karmic is holding on because it's like, you said I was your wish fulfillment. Then it turned into like, look at even though this is the Five of Swords, which normally is like, you know, fighting and keeping each other at bay with harsh words. Instead, someone is sitting out here in the rain. There's not even, it's like someone wouldn't even talk to them. I kind of feel bad for the karmic. There was some kind of, they just got cut off, maybe ghosted, left out in the cold after they were sold a bill of goods like this. You're my everything. You're everything I want. And then somebody got hostile and just cut them off. And so I'm kind of inclined to say that there has been some real, I think the karmic went through some serious hurt on this one, because I don't think they were treated very nice by whomever wants their independence all of a sudden. Seven of Swords. Okay, so we have some kind of lies here. Is it on the karmic side, though? Did the karmic lie to this person and that's why they cut them off? Or did someone lie to the karmic? Hold on. We got a story here. We have a Three of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have a Hermit in the upright. So some of the lies here, I don't know. We have somebody that didn't, I feel like somebody didn't tell whomever the karmic is the full truth. They didn't actually cooperate. They were like holding back, and they knew that they weren't ready to really cooperate. I feel like the karmic got lied to, and that's why the karmic is behaving in this really upset, you know, holding on tight. Like, what do you think you're doing? What the heck happened? I feel like the karmic is actually holding on, and possibly with some anger and some hurt, because it's like, I don't understand why there was no communication. I think that the karmic got just cut off. And I think that, I mean, because we see this is a hurtful card, a really hurtful card. So yes, right now I just want to be fair with all the characters and say there's always reasons for everyone's behavior. And in this case, what we're seeing is that karmic really kind of got hurt. Tell me, the person who wants their independence, the person who is going their own way, tell me about that person. Seven of Pentacles. Is this someone who, you know, the karmics, came up like, oh, they're the ones in the bad mood wanting to hold on to somebody. I think the karmic just wants some truth from whoever the independent person is, who they seem to have it all, but they were bored with it. I'm starting to think that whomever the King and Queen of Swords are, someone got bored with the connection that they had with the karmic, and they had, like, I think something really decent though with the karmic, and then they just kind of got bored. I don't know. We have a 10 of Wands. This person felt like it was a burden. Somebody wanted to get out from a connection where maybe there was more expectation that someone was going to be like, say this individual and their karmic partner, say the karmic, expected that they were in a commitment, a relationship. They had built something stable with this person, but it was feeling too burdensome. Maybe this person just simply wanted to be more footloose and fancy free. They didn't want to be in a long-term commitment. So what they had with the karmic, although the karmic is a, gorgeous and attractive, handsome person, they are intelligent, they are everything. And they're everything that this independent person used to tell them, you're everything I want, you're everything I want. And then all of a sudden it was just like, it stopped. Well, this independent person shows up as the King of Wands, but in the negative. So we did have a matched pair. Whomever this independent person is, who's leaving their karmic behind, at one point they were a perfect match for this karmic, but maybe over time that relationship got toxic because both the King and Queen of Wands are in the reverse. Meanwhile, of course, we have the King and Queen of Swords that are in the upright. So we do have a changing of partnership, but I feel like it's important to dig through and ask why. Here's the crazy part. The independent person had it all and got bored. They felt like this was a burden. Then their arrogance got stirred up here. Maybe because they wanted they wanted that queen to, give them, lavish them with lots more loving energy. Because we have the Ace of Cups, but this is somebody accepting, taking the cup. This person wasn't giving, though. When we have a King of Wands in the reverse, he's not giving at all. He wants to receive. I feel like someone in this storyline, someone wound up becoming like, they had it all, but for some reason they kind of got too big for their britches, and they started to act like they deserved more, and like this relationship was kind of a burden. And so they kind of justified cutting off someone who they previously had said, you're my everything. I want this with you. You're amazing. You're the great love of my life. And then they just kind of cut this person off cold turkey. And the lies here, at least according to the karmic's viewpoint, the karmic says, you lied to me about everything. You didn't really put energy into building this happy home with me. In fact, you weren't sure that you really wanted this. You were actually on a soul-searching journey. So we may have a relationship here where this could be a situation where the King and the Queen of Wands, again, remember they're both in the reverse, there was like an over-promising. Maybe this was a relationship that only lasted a little while. This could have been something that was not really long-term, but it was like, oh my gosh, this is my person. The first couple of months are just amazing, or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, as it's starting to get stronger or deeper, whatever the Queen of Wands was told by this person, for this person to actually, it's going so well, so quickly, but then someone gets bored with it too quick and says, no, I just want you to love on me. I don't really want to give all the things that I had promised. I wasn't really sure that I was ready for something more committed, but I certainly like the fact that somebody so attractive was giving me their attention. And this has been really confusing. But then the more this individual tried to like the more that the karmic tried to get some reaction, some explanation out of that king, the more that king just got more irritated and then felt like they justified why they just cut off this karmic and left them hanging. And the karmic has a real hard time moving on from this because that would be very hurtful. This is, a karmic. Here's the thing. The karmic is, to me, the way when I use that word, what I mean is it's a lesson. It's a cycle where maybe I should call it the lesson instead of the karmic, because both of them are learning something. Let's pause before we go any further and let's ask, what is the lesson for each one of them? Because right now, I have to say, I can kind of understand why the karmic was struggling so much. Like, I feel like in this story, they don't seem to have been treated with a whole lot of respect. The lesson here is 4 of Swords and 9 of Staves. The 9 of Staves came out admittedly kind of sideways, and the 4 of Swords is in the reverse. So for the karmic, or the lesson, it's really about sometimes needing to heal, and not fighting for something and instead letting it go and healing. So I feel like whoever is the karmic, the person, and again, maybe you're identifying with this character. Maybe you're like, yeah, somebody, like, we started things out and then all of a sudden they just kind of like disappeared or cut me off. And it's been really hurtful. It's been really hard. Oftentimes in stories, the karmic is referred to as like the other person. But in this case, maybe the other person was us. The lesson in all of this is when to not keep fighting for something, but when to really allow in the silence there to be peace. If this person, because I'm just going to say it, King of Wands in the reverse, total jerk to deal with. Now, granted, Queen of Wands in the reverse also brings out their negative traits. We can't help it. When we're hurt, when we're wounded, of course we get frustrated. Of course we don't behave in our most elegant way. That, I think, is fair for anyone to say. That's, you guys want to see me on a bad day? Trust me, I got a mouth. I got an attitude. My family can call me the Kraken for a reason. I am not all friendly bubbles. Trust me, I've got an attitude that you don't even want to see me. I'm a dragon lady when I'm upset. I stay on topic, but I definitely have a mouth on me. And I got no problem telling people what I think. So, nice Kate, sassy Kate. There's still another Kate in there too, Dragon Kate. And I think everybody has that when we've been hurt, when we've been wounded, when it feels unfair, when it's been unjust. And so I kind of feel like that's what we're seeing with this Queen of Wands, because when this Queen of Wands got cut off, got left in the silence, got left in the cold, got left out, to me, this is, instead of feeling angry and feeling more like I'm so attached to this because I didn't get closure, the lesson here was to say, in the silence, you actually get a chance to really heal, because thank goodness this person wasn't still like talking in your ear, making it more confusing. It does feel confusing when somebody's gone, but if somebody leaves, Elvis has left the building, the concert's over. I mean, that sounds really harsh. I've been getting some kind of like harsh messages lately, but I also think that it's kind of like a fair way to say it, because the lesson for this Queen of Wands is, don't keep fighting for something when, like, there's no point standing there chanting, "Come on, Elvis, give us an encore," when Elvis has left the building, right? Instead, it's time to go ahead and, give your vocal cords a break from screaming and your hands a break from clapping, and say, okay, hey, that was a concert I attended. It was wild. It was whatever it was. Now I'm going to go onward in my life to, quieter endeavors. So there is this, by the way, love Elvis. So R.I.P. Elvis. But that's actually probably a really great message. I think it's a message that probably everybody who's ever been through a difficult situation with no closure, that's kind of ultimately what we all come to terms with, is like, hey, they're gone. I should be glad now that there's no more conflict. But it takes a while to get there, maybe. So for the, this is so wild. You know what the lesson was for the King of Wands that's in the reverse? The Queen of Wands in the reverse. They needed to understand, why did they behave this way? Why did they what made her behave this way, because it's a Queen of Staves in this deck. I feel like this person needs to understand that they really contributed. It doesn't mean it's all their fault, but they definitely contributed to making this Queen of Wands behave in a certain way. We have the 7 of Sacred Circles in the reverse. We have the 9 of Swords in the reverse. We have the 10 of Swords in the reverse. And we have the Queen of Cups in the upright. So the rest of the lesson for this king is contemplate, why did this wonderful individual go sour on you? Why did you not see long-term success with them and think that you could just casually walk away from it and leave somebody in a ton of pain to go seek other things that fill up your cup? Why are you looking for someone to fill your cup? Why did you choose this person in the first place? Were you actually looking to find someone who's amazing and gorgeous and then intentionally not go for them? Was there something here that was missing, but that what's missing is maybe in you? Was there a reason that this King of Wands, I mean, again, this is the message from the universe about what is their lesson. What is their lesson? Why are they not worried at all about how much they hurt somebody? Because that's not a nice trait. This should be the red flag to this king, that I've acted like a jerk. If I hurt somebody and I don't care, that's not cool. That's really not cool. This should have been handled differently and better. And then to think that they deserve to go on to the next, great love, somebody who's going to fill their cup. Why are they always looking for someone to fill their cup first? This is, I would say that the universe is calling everybody out right now. I think this is like a really helpful set of, thought-provoking messages. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I don't read like anybody else does. I'm not a psychic. I'm a storyteller, and I always read characters, and we develop the story for the characters. And it's always like, step back and instead think of it like this. If you're identifying with any of those characters, how would you see it? How would you do things differently? That I only read for like thought-provoking messages. I don't read to tell you this is how your life is. This is when things are going to happen. I don't predict your future. I really believe in free will. So sorry, but I just want to put that in context, because as I keep talking about these kind of like thought-provoking messages, I'm like, those are pretty, I would say that those are sharp, but fair messages to contemplate for these characters. Anyway, let's keep moving on. So we've got this energy of, this person who wanted to be independent. They're going toward who they think is going to be a great match. Now, what's interesting is, remember, we had this Queen of Swords. We could have somebody who may identify as like a masculine, but it might be more that they're actually in their feminine energy, and they're looking for someone who's in their masculine energy to complement them. They may or may not be aware of that. And that's neither good nor bad. And it doesn't really speak of gender either, but I do want to make a point of saying, if someone is, they could be a little confused about what their expectations are in a partnership. Anytime they feel like they're not getting enough of what they want from somebody, they blow that person off and decide that, especially if someone expresses like, you hurt me, why did you do this? And they get more and more like, well, if you're going to talk to me like that, I'm just not even going to bother to tell you anything. I feel like somebody had kind of a bad attitude. That King of Wands in the reverse reacted really poorly to the Queen of Wands in the reverse. But as we can see, there was some hurt laid out there. So now this person is free and independent, and they're excited that they're going to be moving on to someone else that they believe is going to be a better match for them. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that new match that's coming up. The Queen of Swords with the King of Swords. So they think that someone different will suit them better. They see a 10 of Pentacles there. Okay. They see this could be somebody where they match them financially more. We have a Magician, and we have the Lovers. Wow. So there's definitely like somebody feels very, very much like, this is what I want. This person is going to suit me better. This person is, and it's weird because I almost feel like with the Magician here, this person has this idea in their mind that you're going to be a much better match for me. The King, Queen of Swords match. you're going to be the one that's better than my old match. And sometimes the magician is an illusionist. They also might be projecting like, oh, we're going to be so good together. We're going to have so much money together. I find it interesting that this person keep in mind, these are two very like cerebral, thinking about the relationship. Whoever this is who thinks that they found their other match, they don't see this as a 10 of cups, as an emotionally fulfilling match. They see this as a stable match, maybe a financially stable match first and foremost. Doesn't mean that won't be super fulfilling for them, but in their mind, coming together with this person is somehow almost like, I'm going to say, a bit of a prize or something, because the Lovers is a card of choice. So it's like, see, I'm choosing somebody who's like going to be a better match for me than the situation of my past. They might even be choosing someone who's not as fiery and passionate. They might be choosing someone who is more like, oh, I understand this person or they understand me at a more logical level instead of an emotional, passionate level. They might be choosing this because their version of a perfect romance is actually possibly first based in not that there's anything wrong with this. It's great to want like a stable foundation, but I do think it's interesting that we don't actually have any cups here. We don't actually have an emotional connection. We have a stable connection with a lot of expectation of what this is supposed to become. And we have something. Tell me about the Lovers card. We have the Empress. Hey, this could be the person that they really view as their end all be all. This is exactly who they wanted to meet, exactly who they wanted to find. This is like, I am choosing the person that I can see myself with like forever, long term. That looks like my perfect person. Wow. We have the Star card. We have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Why is the Queen of Wands in the reverse showing up here? Is it that they're making a comparison between, this is also to clarify the Lovers, right? So they're, at least right now, they're very gung-ho saying, this person is my perfect person. This is my perfect match. This is my Empress. This is my wish fulfillment. And then are they comparing it to the Queen of Wands? Queen of Wands in the reverse? Or are they, I gotta say, why are they thinking of the Queen of Wands at all when they're with their supposed new great? Oh, so we have the Justice in the upright. We have the Knight of Cups in the upright. And we have the Six of Wands in the reverse. How interesting. So at this moment where they're telling themselves, this new partnership that I am gravitating toward that is so logical, where I match this person so great, we're going to be so abundant, it's going to be so stable. And I'm sure that this is going to manifest into something. It's interesting because they see this almost like this is going to become something so perfect, right? This is going to be the greatest choice I ever made. This is going to be my end all be all. This is my Empress. This is the one. This is my wish come true. Why then do I suddenly think of the Queen of Wands? Remember, the Queen of Wands was told that they were the one, because we saw that that's one of the reasons the Queen was so upset. It's because you told me I was the one. I don't understand. Yet they're going back in their mind right now to say, I did that Queen of Wands wrong. The Justice card. Look, I left an empty space. I said that I really loved them. I told them they were everything. And then what happened? Well, I disappeared on them. That wasn't right. And it's weird because in the midst of all this supposedly they've met the greatest person ever. They're so in love. Their mind goes back to the Queen of Wands. Their mind goes back to almost to the point where they want to go back and offer an emotional offer to this queen. So now they're missing the queen. And yet they know that I messed this one up with the queen. How bizarre that just when they're predicting all of this, oh, this is going to be wonderful, this is going to be joyful, this is going to be exactly what I want, all of a sudden now what they're missing is what they had with the Queen of Wands. And it's actually, maybe they said something to this new person, this King or Queen of Swords, and they realized that they said all those words to the Queen of Wands, but they meant it when they said it to the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, for them to be saying, you're my everything, you're exactly what I wanted to meet, for some reason, it triggers the memory of the Queen of Wands, almost like I meant it when I said that to the Queen of Wands. And then I got mad at the Queen of Wands and I left her. And I went looking for someone that I said was going to be better than her, and someone I was going to be more stable with than her, and someone that I was going to find that, you know, I could say, oh, you're my everything. This is going to be perfect. But when I say those words to this new person, I remember that I said it to the Queen of Wands. And now I realize how wrong that was, how unjust that was, what I did. This is the storyline's getting heavy. I don't know. Don't want to put this one out. It's so long now. I don't want to stop, but we have a High Priestess. We have the Strength card. This person all of a sudden is everything that they've been trying to tell themselves is a perfect match is missing one of the ingredients, which was whatever they really felt for the Queen of Wands, which was probably like a ton of passion that was really hard to manage. This person was like, they reacted. I don't know. I feel like the two of them had a ton of passion, but then I still don't understand why someone decided to run off and be independent of that connection, only to then go try to find someone else that they would be more cold and logical with, only to then discover that they're missing the passion and the warmth from the Queen, to only then realize I'm the one who turned that Queen ice cold on me. That wasn't right. So now I know that I have to be strong about this if I were going to try to move forward, because I messed things up so badly with that Queen. But the Queen doesn't know that I'm aware of this now. We have all of this hidden. I feel like somebody is having this huge, like, oh my gosh, I messed this one up. Hierophant in the upright. Are you kidding me? What does that mean? Okay, number one, on this Hierophant card, I always look at it as like the universe is schooling people right now. Hold on, because I don't think this is fair that we keep just talking about the person who, you know, that I keep referring to as the independent one, without contemplating what else is happening for the King or Queen of Swords, whoever that other counterpart is. How are they feeling about this? Serious King of Wands. You see some repeat patterns going on here? Hold on. This is wild. The Moon in the reverse and the Three of Cups in the upright. Do you know what? There is this incredibly, okay, whomever our independent person was who decided to go off and get in a connection with either the King or the Queen of Swords. And I don't know if it's masculine or feminine, so we're just going to leave it here. I first viewed this as the independent one, but I said they might be like more in their masculine or their feminine energy, regardless of how they identify. So that adds one extra layer of like maybe confusion when I try to explain this. But look, I say whatever messages I get, whether or not they make perfect sense to me, because it's not my story. It's just a story. So I try to read it as clearly as what I see it as. This to me looked like, even if it was a masculine, they went and left the Queen in a real nasty attitude to go after someone else, but they were standing in their more like a feminine energy, even if they were a masculine. So then they're out looking for someone who will complement them, which might have been a more masculine. And again, we're talking about energy. Whoever complements them energetically. Well, that interesting individual, the other person in this counterpart situation, is actually aware that that person is a loving person, but that deep down, they actually still want to be with the Queen of Wands, that they are falling back in love with the Queen of Wands, the very person they left in order to come be with them. So we have an interesting, this, whether we're talking about the King or the Queen here, these are very astute, very obvious. They can see things and feel things really clearly. Whoever this is aware that you're still in love with truly in love and wanting to get back together with your ex. You want to offer your love not to me, but to your ex. Or at least that's what they're thinking in this. How are they okay? I feel sad for them, because I'm like, man, why are you getting the short end of the stick? Oh, you know what? They're actually like almost pushing this person to say, you know what? You need to go back to your ex. You did them wrong. You want a new beginning with them. I don't think this person's in love with them. That's the craziest part. I think that they tried to go find someone new, and that new person has been like the greatest, maybe that is part of the teacher, the greatest teacher to say, okay, you keep trying to date me. You keep trying that act like you're all interested in this with me. But you know what I think? I think you're in love with your ex. I really think you need to go talk to your ex. And they're not even ruffled. This king or queen of swords, whoever this is, they're socking it to him straight and saying, you made a big mess of things. It's not right and it's not fair. It's also not right and fair that you try to start things with me when you're not really here. You're in love with your ex. So I feel energetically like I would be a third party. And I know it. Like I can feel it. I'm a king and queen of swords. I have a very like brilliant brain and the ability to see things for what they are. And I'm not like emotionally attached to you, but you are emotionally attached to your ex, to your queen of wands, the queen that you must have done wrong. You did dirty to them and you keep thinking about them. Go back and start things over with them. It's very interesting to see that we have, I mean, whoever this king or queen of swords is, whoever that counterpart is, who's just like, here's the thing. You're not over your ex. You know, that's a really like powerful individual. And I think they're kind of like, look, we're pals, we get along, but there's not really a connection here. It's very interesting that someone is giving them like the straight advice. Okay, tell me, I like this person very much. That's somebody who's like really strong. The tower in the upright. It's like, look, even if we tried this, it would fall apart because you're not really balanced yet. You've been trying to like Seven of Cups and Five of Cups in the reverse. I'm sorry, but this person is saying, look, I'm not going to be brokenhearted when you go back to your ex. I think you're kind of confused. And I think you got to go get your head on straight. Your behavior has confused me. Maybe they talk about you all the time. Maybe they talk, you know, when I say you, I'm saying the karmic. Maybe this person talks about their karmic all the time to this new partnership, and to the point where this new partnership is like, dudette, I don't know why you keep talking about your ex if you're over your ex. You know what I really think? I think you're pretty confused. I think that if you were to try to get with me, I think things would end because you're confused. And honestly, I'm okay with you going now. Like, I'm not brokenhearted. I feel like this person is so logical. You notice that we never actually had love between these two either. We had someone who was projecting and predicting, oh, this, you could be my empress, you could be my everything. But it's almost like they kept trying to convince themselves of that. You know, it's like, oh, we could be really good together, you know, and we could manifest this wonderful, passionate romance, and you could be my everything. And God, my everything turns out I keep thinking it was my ex. It's like they were trying to force themselves to fall in love with this other person, but this other person's really not having any of it, because it's like the critical ingredient is missing here, and it's the sincerity that you're really emotionally interested in me. I don't feel like you are. I feel like you're stuck on your ex, and you now know that you maybe really did your ex wrong. So in my readings, when I see the Justice card, that's when someone did something not nice. Somebody needs to go and fix what they did. This king is very aware at this point that when they are trying to give a love offer to someone else, they imagine saying it to their ex. Their ex is who's in their mind. And that's where it strikes them that, oh my God, am I the one who messed this up? I left my ex. No wonder they were upset. And now I want to go back and say something about, I don't know, how do I say this to this other person? How do I explain this to this other person? What's so weird is that their higher self is what is taking over. The universe is like, oh, are you finally getting your lesson? Are you finally figuring it out? So this, to me, this is a story of a king and queen of wands where everything went wrong. And, you know, it's not like either person was blameless. It isn't. But I do say that there was, on that king of wands side, because they checked out instead of communicating with the queen. And maybe it was really difficult to communicate because admittedly that queen came out like they were pretty pissed, but they left instead. And that was, you know, another like insult. And then they left and said, I'm going to find somebody else who treats me better. And only to discover that they shouldn't have bounced. They should have actually communicated. They really actually do have feelings for that queen. So at this point, what happens? Because this could be a story where those two are actually headed back into each other's arms. All I can see now is that the King and Queen of Swords, the other partner is like, it's not us. Like we're not a couple. I hate to tell you, but I don't see us going anywhere. I feel like that person is kind of amazing to call it like they see it. And I like the fact that they're not wounded. They're not brokenhearted. It's like, this felt more like friendship, that they were trying to push it into a romance. And the one person, that king, was coming on strong, like, you're going to be my everything, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as those words are out of their mouth, it comes out like that's the moment where it feels fake to somebody. It's like they know that in that moment, they're not really saying those words to them. They're saying it to their ex, to that queen of wands that they're not with. It's weird because I feel like this all happens in an instant, but it's almost like they talked about the Queen of Wands in the same context that they were trying to give all their love to this new person. And the new person was like, I think you meant to say that to your Queen of Wands. And it just kind of unravels from there in a great way, because I think it's getting more authentic. I think that this King or Queen of Swords is a great match for them in a completely cerebral way, where it's like, this is the person who points it out and says, sweetheart, it ain't me you want. It's that ex. You can say you're done. You can say all that. And I don't think you are. So for the outcome, remember, the universe has this person may even realize that they want to go back and marry that Queen of Wands. They might have realized in pretending or trying to convince themselves that their empress is somehow in this counterpart situation with the King and Queen of Swords, they might have actually come to realize that the person they do see as their empress, the person they want to marry, is actually that ex, that Queen of Wands. So for the outcome, we have a Nine of Cups, we have a Page of Pentacles, and we have a Page of Cups. I think somebody's got to go single, solo, and get their head on straight for a while. Then slowly maybe rebuild something as friends, then slowly try to see if this can become an apology and a romance. This could also be representing that Queen of Wands who's single and has healed and has gotten themselves beyond this and is like starting a kind of a new life when this apology comes in. Let's go a little bit further. Oh my gosh, this is so long. So sorry. I've had such long, complicated storylines lately. We have Eight of Wands. We have communication with the Knight of Wands. So now what we see in my mind, we see the king showing back up, but this time they're only coming in as a knight. So this person is like, they're tentative. They're, I think this has been like a mind bender for this King of Wands. This King of Wands, I don't know why they had so much conflict with the Queen of Wands, but that is their match. Well, actually, no, you'll see in just a minute why they had all this conflict. They tried to get with somebody else who kind of like sent them packing and be like, nah, I think you should go back and fix stuff up with that queen that you continue to think about and feel emotion for. Because honestly, this ain't working for me. So they're on their way back to the Queen of Wands, who now is single and pretty abundant and doing okay. Although the last time we talked to her, she had been like really working on trying to heal in all that silence and kind of like being left out in the cold. But now here comes this king. They're coming back in with, they want to talk, they want to make an apology, but they're actually coming back in because they're hungry for that queen. This is passion. This is like, they can't help themselves. I feel like this person really struggles with the amount of passion they feel for the queen. I think it overwhelms them. Then they get frustrated if anything goes wrong, and then they don't know what to do with that much energy. So maybe this King of Wands has always struggled with managing the flood of emotions that they feel with this Queen of Wands, because now their passion is driving them. It's like they want to kiss her, they want to hold her. But we have the Four of Wands in the reverse. They're not coming in yet as a balanced individual, which makes sense because first we had the two of them playing off of each other in a really toxic way. Both King and Queen of Wands were in the reverse. Then they left. They tried to get with somebody else only to say, I can't. I got to go back to the Queen of Wands. But now they're coming in with this passion, but they're still so unsteady. They're not showing up like with a significant, powerful offer. And now we have the karma card. Okay, so this, to me, this is someone who actually they want desperately to reconnect with. But they're coming in with this flood of emotions of like, I need you, I need to kiss you. But that's not really what they need. They, at least according to this card, okay? This is, you know, how I called this relationship a karmic relationship. Yes, but it's also a really powerful relationship where there's so much healing that can be done, so much balance that needs to happen, to have a real reconciliation. We see like an eclipse happening here. I feel like the reason that this King and Queen of Wands have been drawn together in the first place was for, and it may be for both of them to learn something profound. It's to reconcile something. What is it? Seven of Wands in the reverse and the High Priest in the reverse, which is like the Hierophant in any other deck. So Taurus energy showing up. The big thing that the King and the Queen of Wands are being drawn back together for, yes, they may have intense passion for each other that then like they both get burned by the passion because there's like maybe jealousy and stuff interwoven into all of it, and then hurt feelings, and then, you know, just basically being disrespectful and leaving each other without communication. But here's the thing, coming back in still kind of with the wrong attitude, not having balance, is all because in a karmic cycle, they have to complete this. It's time that they get the lesson this time, which is about removing those obstacles, the defense tactics that bubble up inside one of them and the other one immediately. And now that we have the Hierophant with two keys on it, I think that both the King and the Queen of Wands have always had like an electric reaction to each other because they both of them have been really locked up. Both of them have maybe been wounded. They carry ancestral wounds. They carry like cycles of woundedness through past lifetimes. They both have to unlock that tendency toward immediately going into defense energy. And the only way to do that is, I mean, honestly, the way they've interacted with each other, they've both made each other go into complete like porcupine mode. Like their hackles go up, the sharp little stingers go up. They both react to each other like instantly. They are on defense mode from each other. But here's the thing, that defense tactic might exist in both of them all the time, and together they're going to be able to help each other get through that defense tactic. That's what this real lesson is about for both of them, is getting through the defense tactics that they both carry. Why do they have the defense tactics that pop up? I mean, that's really what the judgment, the healing from things, the karmic energy of this. Like I said, I don't feel like this is a lesson that only the two of them could work out with each other, because they both actually have the same lesson to learn in this case. And I say it because we see two coins, or two keys across from each other. These two are cut from the same cloth. Their reactions, their hurt energy, their porcupine mode that they instantly go into is the same energy. And that's the thing that we have to get beyond. We got to lay down those defense tactics, and we have to see our similarities. That's the thing where we have to break away from that too. And I think that because they both react the same way, if they could both be vulnerable with each other in the same way, oh my God, there's our Queen of Cups. There's our sweetness. There's our gentleness. There's our incredible love that they both want to experience, and they want it from each other is the crazy part. Each one wants the other one to love me like no other. That's what they both want. They want to also give that kind of love, but feel safe in it. But it's like there was this huge mistrust, which I mean, Page of Wands, and then rebuild the passion. But first they want to be treated, both of them wants to be treated gently, yet they did the exact opposite to each other. Very hurtful. And, you know, you could say maybe there was more purpose that someone behaved that way. Maybe it's, you know, I don't want to give one or the other all of the burden of it, right? Because it always takes two, and it's how our energy interacts with each other. But, you know, it felt a little heavier that the king walked out instead of trying to work through stuff. But again, that's, who knows how acidic the two of them had already been behaving toward each other that made the king say, this can't be my relationship that's supposed to work for me. I'm going to bounce. But then they did something really hurtful by disappearing on her and leaving her in hurt. But they couldn't move on. That's the thing. We can't let go of our karmic lessons. We're going to come back. And to have the Six of Cups here, this is amazing. This is soulmates coming back together. I'm going to just go ahead and let this reading end here because I don't think it could have been a more complete storyline. So the way I read is I read until I feel like I have the full picture. This is a full picture. Does it make sense that these two have had lifetimes together? Absolutely. And that they, think of it, we show little kids who get along great can also bite each other sometimes, like slap each other's little blocks away from them. And, little kids, they don't have any impulse control, right? They don't always play nice, and yet they really like each other. I feel like it's that, only, minus the physical, knocking over each other's blocks. But the two of them, they have been able to work out maybe inner childhood wounding, feelings of like I say, porcupine mode. They don't have to act like that with each other anymore because they get it. They now understand they both had the exact same, something in their background, something in their past lives were so mirrored. Maybe these two have been different people to each other in past lives, maybe they have been, whatever interaction they had in past lives, maybe they keep showing up in each other's lives until they finally learn that they are so similar. And that's why we finally get to this place where these two can be happy, they can play, they can experience like feeling love. And even if they're going to have arguments, they now have a security that, but you love me anyway. You're not, if we argue, it doesn't mean that you don't love me. I think that's the biggest thing in all of this is, I don't know if there had been any argument at all made one or the other say, oh, well, then you must not love me because you would argue with me. And I think maybe both of them reacted that way, like that knee jerk, like you've hurt me, you couldn't love me, and so I need to run from you kind of attitude is what it looks like, at least maybe on the king's part. That might have been part of it. Anyway, I hope that this makes some little bit of sense. I feel like it was quite the mini series that we just read. I've been getting those a lot lately. I hope that that's good. I hope that it's because there's lots of complex like growth going on, or things that are super uplifting and positive. But yeah, this was one heck of a story. It took us down a couple different roads. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do give it a thumbs up. If not, no worries, just release it. Don't even give it another thought. I am delighted you guys are here, and remember, they're just stories. All right, bye guys.